Victor Dudley Round was my grandfather. He and Daphne built this shack at Dodges Ferry on the eastern side of the Derwent River near Hobart in Tasmania. My mother shared wonderful memories of endless summers spent at Dodges, firing up the boiler to cook sugar bags full of fresh crays. She shared gripping yarns of Victor running before a stiff South Westerly, clawing his way past Red Ochre Beach and around the headland to the safety of Dodges in his timber putt-putt. Perhaps that is what instilled the pull of the sea in my life and the inspiration behind building Moonlight. But this story is not about Moonlight. Rather, it is the story of Manful Round and a table he built to be enjoyed for generations. Manful Round, my great-grandfather, was a talented cabinet maker in the late 1800s. He left a marvellous intergenerational legacy that my brother and I discovered in the parlour of my grandfather's Dodges Ferry home when we were boys. Rebecca Round married Graham, my uncle, and she recently celebrated her 90th birthday at her family home in Tranmere on Hobart's eastern shore, where she cares for her garden and her chooks. This is the story of a beautiful table made of tears and wood. Left for his family and now a part of Tasmania's heritage. The table used to come up to our chests about here.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting. It wasn't in the sunroom. It was just a little bit back there.
That's right.
And I remember Robert and I just for what probably was minutes, but seemed like hours on end. We would trace our fingers around all these counties, and it's such a wonderful thing to see it again.
Manful Round lived in North Hobart. He was a gifted artisan in woodwork. This table was an apprentice piece. In 1894, there was an exhibition. There was a big exhibition hall over on the Domain. It was built on the proviso that it was taken down after the exhibition, and this table was shown in that exhibition. No one knew where the table was because it has never been for sale, of course. I called into the museum and I said to them, I have an octagonal inlaid table made by Manful Round, and it's got a map of Tasmania in it. And the immediate response was, well, we'll get the curator of this exhibition down. The exhibition, by the way, was to open to the bigwigs on that night, 7 o'clock that night. This young man came down and he looked at me and he said, I wouldn't move anything except for Manful Round's table. He moved his exhibition to put in Manful Round's table. Made in the I would think the early 1880s. And he was a delightful man. He was not very tall. And his wife was just a lovely small person too. She was the daughter of a sea captain. And when he married the daughter of a sea captain, his father was so disgusted that he married beneath himself that they lived in a very small cottage at first and then moved into the other house, which wasn't a big house anyway. He died 6 weeks before we were married. Nanny Round, his wife, she unfortunately had to have her leg amputated because of gangrene from diabetes, and she died not long after we were married. table has always been in the family. It came to us because Graham was the elder of the two sons who bore the family name, and we intended to give it to our son Ian. Ian unfortunately was killed in a motorcycle accident when he was 28 in 1981. And so the table will go on through the family now that I know Peter wants it. These are the old counties. The names are written on them. You have to look carefully. If you look at the very light coloured pieces here, see those? They're the lakes. This is Port Davey. That's down near Maria Island. The table itself, I believe, is King Billy. I believe there's one that may be oval that he made as an inlaid table.